Alright gang, welcome back to our Skyefin Aquafarm series here on Kinlaig. It is October. First thing I'd like to do, I'm afraid we're not going to have enough room, but I want to look at potentially putting down a secondary trout lake. We talked about that in the last episode. It doesn't appear that it's going to work. Nope, it's not going to work. Overlaps with another object, but that just doesn't seem like it's even going to. I mean, it looks like it's going to enter. It is. It's kind of going across the fish there. I don't really want to do that. I think that's a little bit too extreme. I'm fine to utilize the free mode to put things down sometimes, right, when you're a little bit too close to other things, but that's legitimately in the other lake, so I don't really want to do that. This land's not owned by us. Even if I was to go there, which is a sliver into the current trout lake, I still don't think that's. I don't think it looks that great, and it also is not, for whatever reason, maybe, I guess maybe that's just the way it looks. No, it definitely looks different here. I was going to say, and even if you look at it here, it doesn't even look like it's going to put a big, massive hole in the ground like this one did, right? It looks like it's just barely going to put anything. In comparison, if I hold it here, for example, right, and then if you come over here and look at it, I mean, it's just. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, I don't think it's. I just don't think I'm going to do it. I want to. I don't think I'm going to. Maybe if I moved this over one or two more to the left, maybe would have been a better spot. But I think one or two to the left, though, if you look at the ground texture here, I think one or two to the left, we would actually be in the middle of the track here. I didn't want to do that. So I think that's probably going to be the extent that we're going to be able to do until we own, I guess, this plot of land, which hopefully at some point we will. And then when we own that, then maybe we can reconsider, because then, we can put it a little bit over here further, maybe slightly into the bush here, but, you get what I mean. Anyway, how is everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. We are going to start off this episode, as we do almost every episode, with moving some of the fish around, and I mean by that is more specifically going to our aqua farm, grabbing some of the trout, grabbing some of the salmon, bringing the trout up here, dropping them off, and then going and selling what remainder of both of those that we currently have. Really, Bus? I'm nowhere near you. I am nowhere near you. What are you doing? What are you doing? These, I'm telling you, we need a name for the bus. We don't have a name for the bus yet. We've got so many names, I'm starting to forget all the names of the ones that we don't, run into often anymore. I mean, really, it's the normal three that tend to cause us the most issue. But that's the first time we've had a bus give us an issue, I think. Or at least a major issue. We've certainly had issues in the past, I'm sure, with buses, but. Anyway, how is everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good here. Now, recently I rebooted. I decided to kind of add a bonus video in every once in a blue moon on Sundays. I'm not sure it'll always be this series, but nonetheless, I have rebooted the Sri Lanka Can You Survive 25 series. Now, that's a series that we started a long time ago. We have not done an episode on it since April of this year, which is insane. I said we'd be back relatively soon. It ended up not being that soon, as a matter of fact. But I've rebooted it nonetheless. And what does that mean? Well, we're still in the same map, but what I did was I took everything that we had up to that point, all the fields, all the equipment, everything, I sold it all. So kind of, sort of, I guess, to an extent, you could say we're starting over, retooling, reboot, whatever you want to call it, but we're not really. So basically, we're taking all the money that we had made over that time period and all the money that we made from everything we sold, plus getting ourselves back to the $250,000, or I'm sorry, the 500,000, was it 250 or 500,000? Now I'm blanking on which one it was. Sorry, gang, it's early in the morning. Either way, you get what I mean. We bumped the actual loan back up to what the starting loan was, and that was the money we had to start with after selling everything. Obviously, we lose a little bit of money by selling all that stuff, right? And so what it basically did was we had, when we left off in April, we had just over 13,000 acres. We now have just over 6, so we've dropped it in half, pretty much. which means we're, behind the 8 ball a bit, but that's okay. I wanted to restart to an extent, or retool, or reboot, as I'm calling it. I'm calling it a retool and a reboot, because that's what it is. We're retooling different, we're starting a different equipment, etc. But I did that on purpose because, since it's been since April, I wasn't exactly as happy with it as it started. It didn't seem like it was my most successful series either, because I kind of went about it the wrong way a couple of times early on. So we're going to try to make that series better. And what do I mean by that? Well, really, what I mean is I'm going to try to make that series more successful. And we're going to figure out a way to succeed. And that, I should have known that was going to happen. I should have known I was not close enough. I'm just going to use my hand here, the liftable pallet mod. Just bear with me for a minute. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to get at with that series is we kind of restarted it. We have different land, smaller amount of land, obviously. We start with different equipment, but the initial starting farm, which for us was a greenhouse farm, way back when we first started the series, the Survive 25, Can You Survive 25 series, we are still starting with greenhouses. It'll all make sense if you check it out and watch it. We don't actually have Farm 1 fully complete yet. We have to do a couple of other things, the objectives, I should say, for that. But we restarted it. We rebooted it. I'm very happy about it. I'm excited with the approach that we're going. I'm excited with the way it's going. So check that out if you haven't done so already. It came out Sunday night, around 6 p.m. Eastern. It came out on Sunday. And so my goal here is, I'm not blind by the fact that some people haven't loved the fact that I've kind of tried to branch out a bit and do a simulation Sunday. I'm not lost to that. Since that Survive 25 series, very similar to the Mountain Survival series, they're not a series that's going to have your typical schedule. What I mean by that is, this one comes out, then another one comes out, then this one comes out, then another one comes out, right? It's not going to be in a set schedule. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is, whenever I have the time or I want to do a video on that, because that's a series that's going to run for the entirety of Farming Simulator 25. And what that specifically means is it's going to run until the next iteration of Farming Simulator comes out. So since that is the goal there, I'm not really too concerned that it needs to be on some kind of a set schedule. It's going to be a long series anyway. So what does that mean? Well, really what it means is I'm going to be, whenever I have the time to do a video on that, or whenever I feel like doing a video on that, we're going to do it. But it's not going to have some kind of a set schedule. So what I was planning to do was either on Sunday, release that series, or release that series plus a Simulation Sunday video, depending on if I have one done. Does that make sense? So you might get 2 videos on Sundays if I'm able to, get a Simulation Sunday video out and still have the time and the want to do the Z Lanka Can You Survive 25 series. If I don't and I have it for another day, then I have it for another day, right? But the goal, I guess, would be, if I can do it, to try to include it on Sunday nights as kind of a secondary video for Sundays. We will see. Again, it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that it's going to stay like that. It's not a guarantee. I don't know where I'm going here. I did not pick up the trout. Did we have trout? I didn't even actually look. I think there was a pallet. I didn't even look. I'm sitting here talking and not paying attention. Yep. All right, let me head back to the farm there. To close it out, basically my goal is, if I can do it, to try to add a secondary video on Sundays. But if it doesn't work and I have it, placed within the week or whatever it may be, then, so be it. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I highly recommend it. I'm very, very excited about the way that it's going. I'm very excited about the new retool start. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's going to be a better approach for us as we move forward. If you will, we're taking a little bit of a 2 steps back to get 1 step forward, if you will, on that one. We will get back to where we were, but right now we're more back to a 1 farm setup for at least a couple of episodes, and then hopefully we'll be able to do something on the second farm that really all we have for that is a field. We don't have anything else besides that and 1 piece of equipment. It'll all make sense. Just check the video out. I promise I think you'll like it. All right, before I was rudely interrupted by myself with forgetting to grab the adult trout box, we've got it up here, and we're heading to the Seaside Restaurant, which, again, I've mentioned before, I feel is a little weird. You can't really see the seaside from the restaurant. But, you know, whatever. What do I know? So I'm looking for and hoping for some good money here. Now, more than likely, what we're going to have to start doing here very soon is reconsidering the selling of the adult trout. The price is still decent, but it is dropping, and it's going to drop significantly here in November. So, which is a bit weird to me. Maybe I don't know enough about fishing, but I would think in the winter it would be harder to get fish. But I don't know. What do I know? Anyway, the point I'm trying to get at is it's starting to decline, and it gets worse as we move along here in the winter months. I can kind of show it to you right here. The best is June, July, which I guess kind of makes sense to an extent, but the worst is you know, December, January. So, anyway, we are going to go sell this adult trout, and then we will head on down like we have been doing and sell the remainder of the young trout and salmon and hopefully make some decent money here. Now, the main goal today really is to kind of get that other field set up and ready to go. And what I mean by that is, maybe. There we go. The field that we've harvested and been, you know, picking up the straw on and everything else, that field, we've got to get that prepped, ready to go. I would ideally like to drill it today, but there's a lot that has to happen to accomplish that. Specifically, we really should plow it, honestly, because it's not in the best of state. If we don't plow it, then we're going to have to buy some kind of a sprayer. So more than likely what we're going to do is buy a plow. It'll probably be a plow that we utilize in the past often. And here we go, just brake checking me again. Go ahead. Go ahead. Old Alfred, the blue car, man, I'm telling you. These cars. Anyway, so I think financially it makes more sense to get the plow and plow the field up. Like I said, we're probably going to utilize the plow we've used in the past. It'll be one of those 2 or 3 that we always use. I try, I've said this so many times, but I'm going to say it one more time here. I try to change things up on each series. I don't like to utilize the same equipment, same everything, but sometimes there's nothing for it. That is absolutely the best thing we can use. Without question, that's the best thing to use, are those. They are a better plow. For whatever reason, I don't really like your more traditional plow. I like the ones that are spread out, you know, like we normally use, I guess is how I should put it. Maybe I should do a series where I force myself to use the traditional plow. I don't know, so maybe I can try to use it a little bit more. But the traditional plow, to me, just great, but it just takes too long, especially when you've got a large field. Now, the fields we have right now aren't that large, right? But still, nonetheless, they are fields that will take a while to plow, right? So, and I don't think, I'm just going to verify this because I've been wrong in the past. I don't think we do have a plow already, don't we? Never mind. I'm glad that I double-checked that. I was getting ready to go to the shop and be like, all right, well, we're going to have to go buy a plow, but I completely forgot we bought one. I thought for some reason, I don't know why I thought this, but for some reason when we plowed up our field up there in the yard, the one that we made, you know, we created, I don't know why I thought we sold it. I'm glad I double-checked that. I would have just wasted money. A lot of you in the comments are probably already yelling at me. What are you talking about? You already have one. You're dumb. Yeah, you're right. But we are going to come up here first, though, and we're going to pick up some more fish food while we're here. Ideally, I would also love to get some kind of a mill down soon and really start turning that oat into flour. I think that is a great approach. It's going to make us more money than that oat ever will, right? So we might end up doing that. What's in the used market? Ooh, that's a very nice baler in the used market. We can make some money if we sold our forage loading wagon in favor of this. It would mean we'd have to move the forklifts around a lot more, though, or a skid steer, or put a front loader. Actually, I don't... can I put a front loader on this? Part of me feels like I can't put a front loader. I feel like I can't. It does have a front loader attachment, so I guess I could go that approach. Maybe that's the way to go. Because if we bought this used, we could put this on our flatbed trailer. Oh, speaking of that, a lot of people said, well, you could have turned this flatbed trailer into, a crop trailer. And you're right, I could have. I didn't. A couple of reasons why. One, I was a little bit dumb there, and I fully will be. I will always tell you when I make a mistake. I'm not perfect. I always, I've got so much going on in my mind. Sometimes I forget things, and that was the case there. But also at the same time, I was thinking it doesn't really hold enough. And what I mean by hold enough is it doesn't really, allow us enough room to really probably make it worth it. I think the one we bought was a better approach. It wasn't too expensive either, so, and it's probably good for us to have 2 trailers anyway, right? So, in hindsight, I probably should have went that approach and saved ourselves whatever it was, $4,000 or $5,000, whatever it was. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, it's nice to have 2 trailers now anyway, right? So, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But having said that, I'm fully aware that it would have saved us money and probably in the long run would have been the better approach. I'm fully aware of that. Nope. Nope. Thank you. It's going to be exciting when we get to the point where, we will be able to make all of this food ourselves from our factory instead of having to come all the way up here and purchase it, right? That's going to be an exciting time when the first time it happens that we're able to do that. I think that's going to be awesome. It's going to be quite a hike to get them back to our aquafarm, but hopefully by then we have a little bit, better machinery as well. I'm not sure if it's going to be in pallets. I'm assuming it will be in pallets just like this, right? So we're going to have to get a trailer again, probably a bigger. We'll probably have a bigger trailer by then, right? Which will make our life easier. All right, that is done. So like we normally do, let's head on back up and drop some of this off in the Trout Lake, and then we will take the remainder to our aquafarm. There is still a little bit left in the aquafarm, which is good. That means that they're continuing to make fish for us. I know last handful episodes or so, we've been struggling a bit because we were spending money on other things, right? But it's good that we've got enough now that, it's at least still moving. I can show it to you really quick. It's still cruising along, little under 4,000. So this will get it back up into a better spot where hopefully, it's producing even more because there's plenty of food in there, right? How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. Things are good, man. Things are good. I'm very excited at the way that the channel is going right now. I'm very excited with the approach that we're taking and the different changes we've made and the additions and re-additions, if you will, of series. I'm very happy with that. There is a new series that is going to be coming out that will be the replacement, the official replacement for the Vintage Survival, which I know a lot of people were not happy that I ended, but, it was time. I think I've said that enough. I don't think I need to go into that again in detail, but there is a series that's going to be replacing it. I do think you will really enjoy it. I hope you do, at least. So look for that. Bit of a spoiler, I guess, but I think I'm going to have another Zelonka episode this week. Not Sunday, middle of the week. And I think it'll be after that. More than likely, tomorrow's episode will probably be Zelonka, unless something changes, which means the new series would be out on Friday, if I got my days all correct. Which I think is exciting, right? That's a good thing to kind of set up the weekend, right? And then, obviously, Saturday, you've got the competitive one-tile challenge, which everyone seems to be enjoying, all the different shenanigans that have been going on, the interaction with the three of us. We've been having a great time. Make sure you check out Crustu and Rusty Money Gaming as well. we're the three of us are having a blast, man. We are loving doing this series. So, and I'm glad that it's translating, that we are having so much enjoyment. You can hear it, right? If you watch the videos, you can hear the excitement and the enjoyment in our voices, I think. More so probably than you would any other series, I would think, right? We're just laughing, we're having a good time, joking around with each other, and all of you, as a matter of fact. It's just a lot of fun, man. It's great when you're able to, you know, do something like that with your friends, in a game that you all love, right? It's just there's not much better in life than that, right? So we're gonna take this back up to the yard, and we're gonna grab the plow, and then we're gonna head to our field. We're gonna plow that up. Then realistically, we need to either lime it, or we can drill it and then lime it, either way. But we need to lime it. It definitely needs lime. Really, probably could roll it too. We don't have a roller. You know how much I hate rolling. I really despise it. It is better. I've said that in the past. It is better. It really is. It is better now in FS25 than it was in the previous iterations of Farming Simulator, because us on console at least have the ability for a GPS, which we've never had before, right? So it is better, but I still really don't like it. I really don't. The good thing here is we've got a absolute plethora of lime. We've got so much lime we don't know what to do with it. The biggest problem is our lime spreader is not very big. So what we're gonna have to do, as we've done in the past, I guess, is put some lime up on the trailer, bring the trailer over there with us, and yeah, kind of go from there, I guess, is how I should put it. Once we get some higher speed equipment, we're going to be jumping over that railroad track with some authority. I'll see you in see you in the field. Let's get going. All right, so the field's all plowed up. It was a very weird field, the way that those lines were set up. There was like double lines. You know, I was having a lot of issues with that, utilizing the GPS there. I probably should have, and I did it to an extent, but I probably should have for the entire field just did it the old-fashioned way without any GPS, because that was causing all kinds of harm and mayhem. Now, really, maybe we should upgrade that to a 9-meter width. I don't know. Problem. I completely forgot It's just because I got so much going on that I just slipped my mind. But we don't actually have a seed drill. We've got a planter. So we can't actually put in, with current state at least, we can't put in any barley, oilseed radish, grass, or wheat. We have to buy one. We've got $36,000. It's not a ton of money, but it's enough money that we really could get something. You know, it would probably be the same thing we always get, right? One of these Case or John Deere's here. It's just the, you know, the par for the course of what we always start with early on in you know, in different series like this, right? It just makes the most sense to go with these. So, I mean, it's not an outrageous amount, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So maybe we should go with that. I'm trying to decide if that's the way we should go or not, or if we should just maybe eat our words a bit and maybe just prepare the field completely for next season and utilize the planter instead. Probably wouldn't be smart. But at the same time, if we do plant wheat or barley in here, we're going to be waiting a long time, right? We're going to be in the same situation next year where all we can put in is wheat or barley. Not that there's anything wrong with putting in wheat or barley, but eventually we're going to have to do that, right? Because we want to make flour and stuff. So I think I'm kind of talking myself around in a circle here. I think it is the smartest idea is for us to go ahead and buy one. I'd also like to look and see if we can figure out some way to put down some kind of a mill. I'm not exactly sure where I want to put it. Probably somewhere in this vicinity here. We kind of have this space opened up for that reason alone. Now, the problem we have is we don't have a ton of money, first of all. So it's going to have to be kind of a smaller mill. And I'm just not sure that there's really going to be anything that I specifically want to use for this series. Possibly this one or this one, which we've utilized in the past, right? We've really utilized all of these in the past, as a matter of fact. This is obviously the most expensive one. I like this one. I just don't know. You know, I don't know. What's it overlapping with? Oh, that tree, I guess. Part of me kind of wants to put it here. But if I put it here, I guess it wouldn't be terrible there. Is there enough room for me to back something up in there? I guess so. I guess I could go over here too, right? We've got this space over here, so I guess you could go here. Since we're not going to put another lake over here on this side, maybe this is the way to go. I guess the problem becomes here if I do this. I mean, it might work there. That should give me enough space to drive in there and back it up, I think. I don't know. This one right here is the one that I think is causing me the most grief. And what I mean by grief is I'm just not sure where I want to put this at. Like, I know I want to put it here somewhere. I just don't know exactly where, if that makes sense. Maybe here's the way to go. $27,000 is a lot of money. Hmm. 27 plus 6,000, so it's only going to leave us with about $3,000. It might not even be enough for us to be able to. The problem is, I'm in our competitive one-tile challenge, I'm considering putting this little smaller one down here. Although, you know, this one probably is the better approach because it's got more to it, right? Although these, I think these share with your silo, right? Is that enough room for me to get in there and get the pallets? I think so. That's why I'm kind of leaning to put it here, because I don't really know what else I'd put over here in this section, and this gives us a reason to put something over here, right? Well, it's there now, whether we want it to be there or not. It's there now. 20 grand. I mean, I guess we can always move it later on, right? This looks like the same texture that we've been utilizing, so I'm just going to try to keep it unified here, if I can. So that's going to be helpful, right? That means we're going to be able to put that oat that we have in here and start making one of the things we need to make for this series, right? One of the objectives and goals for this series was to make flour, because that's what we need to make the fish food, right? So probably going to get rid of that tree. Oh man, I must not own this right here. That's good enough. I think that's going to do the trick. I'm going to get a little bit closer here if it'll let me. Can I get rid of that? Yes, yes. I hate those things. Maybe I just, you know, kind of go around it a little bit more, like that. Yeah, I'm good with that. I think that looks pretty good. Right? It kind of matches everything else, the way we got everything else set up. Yeah. All right, good, good. So that gives us plenty of money. So let's go ahead and, I kind of, like I said, I'm kind of tempted to do this approach, though. I mean, that's only 5,000. We can probably buy both. Let's do the cedar for the time being. I'll make the decision on the other one, I guess, later on. 5.2 meter width. Is that going to fit? Well, I guess I can go around the other way. If worse comes to worse, right? I guess I can go around the other way. I'm going to put the Michelins on. You all know that I'm a huge fan of Michelins, so we're going to stick with that. And we'll just kind of keep the other colors as they are. It's a case. We've got a case anyway, so it kind of matches everything. So we're going to go with that. 7 grand. Now we've got plenty of seeds and fertilizer up here, so we're going to have to, well, maybe not plenty, but we have some seeds and fertilizer up here. I'm not sure if I should buy some while I'm down there. Perhaps I should. We have the buying silo that we kind of put, or the buying shop that we put on our yard. We really haven't utilized it all that much yet. I mean, once the series gets, you know, longer, obviously I think it's going to be utilized a lot more than maybe it is right now, because there'll be a period of time where we're not going to the shop as much as we are now, right? Right now we're heavily going to the shop often, so perhaps I shouldn't have even put that down yet, but nonetheless we did anyway. Well, we're going to come up here anyway, so we might as well just wait. Just buy it up here at our buying silo, because we've got seeds and stuff in the yard anyway, and I'd prefer to, you know, utilize some of those seeds that we already have to save a tiny bit of money there versus just buying more right now. So, I think given that full understanding, let's go ahead, head to the shop. I'll pick it up, bring it back to the yard, we'll load it up with some seeds. So, I'll see you in a second. Okay, we made it up here. I did test out the door with for the field that we have up there. It does fit. That is a very bit of that's a dicey drive right there. I probably should have maybe got the 4 meter width versus the 5.2, but at the same price, to me, it's just a no-brainer to go for the bigger one. Why not? Why would you not get an extra 1.2 meters? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, in my opinion, to not. But anyway. All right, we're going to try to grab these seeds, too, if I can. This is going to be probably pretty difficult, but we're going to try to make it work. The reversing is probably going to be the worst portion of this, but hopefully we can reach it. Yes, perfect. And there you go. That's one of the big reasons why I wanted to come back here, is because I knew we had enough to fill up the whole entire seed drill here. And, you know, that saves us a little bit of money. Is it a ton of money? Absolutely not, no. But it's a little bit. And I'm going to unload the fertilizer here, too. Fully transparent and understanding that when we do a second application of fertilizer, we're going to have to buy more anyway, so it probably doesn't make a difference that I'm, you know, utilizing it now. But the hope is, obviously, next month we'll be selling some more fish and we'll be in a better spot, right? We're spending a lot of money today. We bought a mill and we bought a drill, so we're spending a lot of money. So the hope is by next month we'll get a lot more money in the account again, and then it'll be a little bit easier on our bankroll, if you will. Now, I can put the lime down first, or I can drill first. The game doesn't really matter. Realistically, you'd probably want to put the lime down first. I'm just going to go ahead and drill it first, and then we can do the lime after that. Yeah, I'm relatively okay with that mill. This might be a little bit in the way, depending on how big of equipment we get, but hopefully by the time, you know, we're at a point where that might be a concern. Maybe we've switched the mill out and got a bigger one, or whatever it may be, right? So I think for the time being, and probably for the foreseeable future, that's not really going to be a problem at all. And as mentioned, by the time it might become a problem, well, hopefully at that point we've moved on and got a bigger mill that can produce a little bit faster and can hold a little bit more. It does appear that it is sharing, just FYI. If you're looking at it right now, it's quick save, so it might be hard to see. But incoming materials, it says it holds 24,000, but the outgoing is only 6. So I would expect that it could only actually hold 6,000 without the silo. So it is utilizing that. So what we're going to do once we get up here and get started on drilling, I think we're just going to put wheat in, because we're going to turn it into flour no matter what we do anyway. So it really doesn't matter you know, which crop we use between wheat and barley. It makes no difference. So we're just going to throw wheat in. But anyway, I think if I turn on oat flour right now, and I just have to move a little bit of it over there, then I think it will actually start sharing it, I think. I might be wrong. Maybe that one doesn't work the way that the one we were utilizing in the Venture Survival works, but we'll find out, I guess. Now, one thing I would love to do, I think I've talked about this in the past, but I'm just going to bear with me for a second. I want to talk about it again here. I don't think I can get rid of this fence line if I buy all of this. And if I can, great, but I don't think I can. But if we buy this field here at some point, we should, because we were able to before, knock out some of these bushes and then maybe take a tiny bit of this field away and make another entryway from here, which will be faster, because that's much closer to our yard than coming all the way up and around and then back through, right? So that'll save us a little bit of time. So, you know, that's a goal, hopefully, to accomplish here in the future. All right, we are underway. Now, hopefully, this isn't the same situation as it was with the plow, but it very well might be, where the lines are all over the place here. Seems so far already that it's better, so maybe I just need to change the width of that plow to make our lives easier. Now, this shouldn't take too long. It's a nice 5.2 meter width, right? It's a really nice width. We're cruising at an average 11 mile per hour, so I mean, this is, it should be a pretty quick process, all things considered. And then we got to put the lime down, and like I said, for the lime, we're gonna have to stack up some of those pallets onto the trailer there. Bring the trailer over here, and then head back and get the lime spreader, and that way we can get all the lime down as well. I really want to get all of that down. I want this to be a really good high-yielding field as much as we can, right? We don't have a roller, so we can't do that, but as much as humanly possible, I would love this field to be in a good spot so we get a really good yield out of it, because that's going to help us tremendously with that mill and making more money in general, right? Obviously, wheat, barley, oat, they're not worth a ton of money, so turning those into flour, probably going to make a little bit more money on that. Now, granted, I do think oat is probably the best selling of all of them. Yeah, the oat is the best selling of all of them, so perhaps we should maybe just sell the oat outright instead of putting it into a mill. That might make a little bit more sense, honestly, the more I think about this. And then, you know, from this point forward, we've got a mill ready to go. We're not going to probably utilize it, but we've got it ready to go, so whenever the time comes to harvest this field, we're going to be in a much better spot, because we're going to have something that can be turned into flour, right? Now, those of you that might have just stumbled across this and aren't really sure what's going on here, the main goal, the main objective here is I am trying to be self-sufficient when it comes to all things aqua farming, fish farming. In other words, any of the productions to make fish food, obviously we already own the aqua farm, the offshore farming, etc., the boat, all of that stuff we have to buy. That's on the map, if it's on the map, which obviously the offshore is not, but you get what I mean. The fish food production, we have to buy the one that's on the map. The mill is not, it's needed for the fish food. It's not specifically for, the mill is not only for fish food. Does that make sense? Like, the fish food production is literally only for fish food. The aqua farm is only for fish, right? That stuff, we have to buy that stuff that's on the map itself. We cannot put it down ourselves, so I can't go into even though it's possible to do so, I can't go into construction menu and just put it down in our land. We have to buy the one that's on the map itself. But everything else, like the mill, like we just put down for the mill, even though it's going to be utilized, it's not a direct requirement for the series. Because that mill is flour. Flour can be turned into lots of things, right? Lots of things. It's not only going to be turned into fish food. Hopefully that all makes sense. I saw a comment recently, somebody on my Discord, which, real shameless plug there. If you haven't checked the Discord out, make sure you do. There's a link down below. They were talking specifically around, whenever I do a video, is it scripted? It is not scripted. So everything I'm talking to you about is literally off the cuff. Sometimes I do feel like I might be a bit repetitive, and that's because I am off the cuff. But yeah, no script at all. I never do a script. The only thing that you could even argue would be partially scripted is my ideas for a series. And when I go into, not always, I guess today would be a good example of one that I'm not, but whenever I go into an episode, though, I have a relatively, decent idea of what I want to accomplish, what I want to do. Like this one, I knew for a fact we were going to be working in this field, right? I knew that's what the whole gist of this episode was going to be. But other than that, I don't really have, a script specifically. It's not like I'm planning out what I'm going to say ahead of time or what I'm going to do or anything like that. It's just a high level, this is what I need to accomplish today. Let's figure out if we can figure out a way to do so. And if we don't get it accomplished, we don't get it accomplished, right? That just means we have to do another episode on that, whatever it is that I didn't get accomplished, right? So those of you that, maybe you're watching and if you're new to it or whatever, and I say new to it, I'm talking new to recording and all that stuff. It's sometimes it's a struggle, gang, and that honestly is the reason why I put in time lapses on my episodes. It's not because I prefer time-lapse. I would prefer to talk to you, but sometimes I just run out of things to talk about. Fully transparent, I run out of things to talk about. And normally it's the best time to do a time-lapse is when you're doing something like this, right? You're doing a drilling or something along this lines where you can speed up the process it takes for you to do that, so you don't have to sit there and watch me do it the entire time. But yeah, I mean, there's no script, gang. It's nothing like that. It's literally just me talking to you, what's on my mind, what my thoughts are, whether they're right or wrong, good or bad. That's just what I do. If I could script it, I mean, I really don't. let's put it this way. This, scripting stuff would maybe overall make a tiny bit of a better content, right? I mean, there's no question about that. If you have a script, obviously your content might get a little bit better. Maybe sometime in the future, maybe if I'm lucky enough, maybe I'll get to a point where I can start scripting some things. I don't know if I necessarily want to script that much in Farming Simulator, though. I kind of just prefer the off-the-cuff, whatever I feel like talking about to you at that point, whatever is on my mind. Whether you agree, disagree, whatever. I think that's just, a little bit more... what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say down to earth. I don't know if down to earth is really the word I'm looking for here. I don't think it is, but I think it'll kind of get the point across I'm trying to get to, right? It just feels a little bit more I mean, the words I'm looking for are just not coming to me right now. The actual word I'm looking for, it's more like a professional type of, approach to you. I'm just being honest and straight up forward with you, blunt, etc. Versus, making up some kind of a false script just to try to get you to like or enjoy the video more. That's not really. Maybe that came off worse than it meant to be, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to put across to you, I guess. It's difficult, man. It really is. It's not an easy thing to do, this recording stuff. And I've had people say to me before, you seem like you're natural about talking to people and things like that, and I don't feel like I am. I feel like I you're your own worst critic, though, right? So I feel like there's a lot of times that I utilize a few too many ums or things like that, and that's just because I'm not the best public speaker in the world. I'll be fully transparent. When I was going to school and in college and all that stuff, that was probably my worst asset, was speaking in front of people. And now by day I'm a project manager, so I talk to people all day long, and maybe that's what's helped me with doing this. I don't know, but I'm kind of front lines. Whenever something's going bad, the client yells at me. Whenever something's going good, the client is appreciative, right? So I get good and bad, I guess is how I should put it, for what I do on a day-to-day basis. So while it may seem like I'm built for it or anything like that, I can assure you I'm not. It's just I think over the years of doing project management that I've kind of got used to it, I guess, to an extent. And that's why I always tell everyone, I really don't. It does not bother me. I want all of the negative and positive criticism you have. Whether you like something, you don't like something, I really, truly do want that input. Because it's going to help me overall, right? It's going to help me try to make better content for you. If you're not feeling something, you're not liking something, then, maybe I'll finish with that series in a small format, whatever it is, because I don't really love endings, leaving series unfinished. Having said that, I understand there's a couple that, well, the one just came back, the Survivor 25 series, but having said that, I do know there's been a couple that, that's just not been able to be possible. But it does help me in moving along, right? It helps me. Okay, so, they all mostly enjoyed this. Maybe I can branch on this and make another idea out of this. They didn't really like this. Maybe I should go back to the drawing board and rethink this, right? I truly mean that. It really does help me. Positive, negative, all of it helps. It really does. So that was a long rant about basically the basic question of as if I script anything. I don't. I don't. But I also, another real quick thing just to kind of close this out, I've also been doing YouTube for a while. Now, this channel specifically, I think 2 years will be in February or around February, on this channel specifically, since I've done a video here. So this channel, I would argue, no, I haven't been doing it for very long. However, I do have a second channel, which, shameless plug, link is down below in the description. Now, I don't do a video every day on that one, and it's been a couple of days since I've done one there, too, just because I've had so much going on lately. It always seems like when I finally feel like I'm going to get a step forward, I take 2 steps back because something happens, whether it's work, life, whatever. Can I please get off of the... Why am I on a line still when I'm not anywhere near the field? Anyway, some things just happen in life. Everyone knows that, right? It's just the way life is, right? You think you're finally getting ahead of the game, and then something comes and punches you back down, right? So, I have another channel that I've been doing for upwards of 5 years now. 5, almost 6 years now. Not anywhere near as how do I want to put it? Not anywhere near as successful, I guess is how I'll put it, as this one is. And let me be very clear, I don't really make a ton of money off of YouTube. I make a tiny bit of money, sure, but I don't make a ton of money. I'm not like, this is not my my full-time job. I would love for it to be my full-time job. I just think, I don't think that's going to happen for me at this point. I think I was a little bit behind the curve here of catching on to doing this. But anyway, that's not the point. I don't do this for the money. I just do it because I enjoy it. Which hopefully that comes across in my voice most of the time. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is with my other channel, you know, I've had multiple years of doing not Farming Simulator specifically, but similar games and talking through it. And a lot of the times I'm on camera on my other channel too. Just practice. I guess that's where that was a really long-winded conversation here, gang, but it just takes practice, man. You just got to keep at it. I'm not perfect. I know that for a fact. There are way better people than I am, but for those of you that were asking, that's it, man. That's really all I can tell you is you just got to keep practicing. You got to keep at it. You'll learn things as you move along. The first videos you come out with are going to be terrible. I'm not trying to be mean. They're going to be terrible. They really are. They're going to be bad. You got to figure out a way to get through that, right? You got to figure out a way. Okay, why was this bad? Why am I not getting the engagement? Why am I not getting the reactions that I want? You just gotta you gotta keep at it. It's not easy, man. This YouTube stuff, it's really not. It's not easy. If it was easy, every single person would be doing this, right? And again, I'm not doing it to make money because I'm not really making a whole lot of money. I mentioned that already. I do make a tiny bit of money. I'm talking a minuscule amount of money. I cannot live off the amount of money I make. I can't really do anything with the amount of money I make, and that's not. I'm not wanting sympathy, and that's not what the design, what my statement was meant to be. It's really not. I'm just explaining to you that if you're wanting to do this full time and make a bunch of money, it's going to take a while, right? I'm 2 years in, and I'm not even close to where I could do this full time. Not even. It's not even in question. It's not even in the ballpark. Like I'm in the minor leagues, the lowest minor league you can possibly get to. As far as YouTube goes, I guess is how I'll put it. That's enough about that. Keep at it. If you're trying to do this and you're new to it, keep at it. You'll get there. You'll get an understanding of where your strengths and your weaknesses are. Right? You will 100% will get there. I promise. You will figure it out. And once you know that, then you start working towards your strengths. For me, my strengths mostly are in challenge type of things, right? I love creating challenges. I've mentioned this 1,000 times to all of you. I've got 20 different challenge ideas on a piece of paper right now. I just have to kind of work through them and build them out, right? So I'm always thinking about different ideas for challenges. Are they always going to pan out? No, they're not. They're 100% not going to always pan out. There's going to be a lot of them that are going to fail. They're going to be duds. But you kind of have to be willing to fail, right? You got to be willing to fail so you know what works and what doesn't. Okay, so back to farming. Well, I mean, all of that was technically farming, but back to actual farming. We're going to throw some lime on here. We're going to bring this over there. I'm going to see if I can hook this to the front. I don't know if it's going to let me do it or not. Probably won't, but I'm going to try it. See if I can save ourselves a little bit of time. It does. Perfect. So I don't have the forklift or anything up here, so I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do it off camera. I'm just going to throw some of these up here. I'm not going to go down and get the forklift. I'll just do it by hand really quick off camera. All right, gang, that field is all done. It's been drilled. It's been limed. The only thing really that we didn't do to it was roll it. We don't have a roller anyway, so we can't do it right now, even if we wanted to. But it is in a good spot. Nitrogen's at perfect. pH value is good. We'll get better. There is perfect parts. There's parts of the pH value that are perfect as well. It will get better as we move along, of course. But yeah, we're going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like, subscribe button for me in case you have yet to do so. They are free to do. They help me more than you could possibly imagine. Thoughts, questions, comments, ideas. You know the drill. Put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you on any of those. Thank you to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. Ooh, I went into the bush. Thank you, my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. You guys are the best. You know that already. If you want to become a member, there's a link down below. Get early access to videos like this one, including the competitive one-tile challenge. Discord's down there. My other channel's down there. Everything you need, all down below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your continued support. I'll see you next time.